So, could you first like tell me about yourself and everyone, like what do you do exactly and stuff like that?
Yeah, of course. So I'm 22. My name's Seb. I'm originally from Quebec, Canada. I've been traveling the world for a while, and I've been doing trading for about 5 years. And for the past 3 years, I've been working on my trading education and automation company. So just helping people learn trading, master trading, and automate as much as possible.
Nice, awesome, bro. So, before investing with me, like, what was the journey like? I think you had low ticket offers, mix of high ticket offers and stuff. So, like, could you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, it was done bad. Not gonna lie. On my call with you, Mr. Div, it was not exactly the best because I was traumatized on terrible
Yeah,
rev share models. Yeah, it was something else. So yeah, I mean, I was trying to do anything and everything. I was trying to partner up with all of these other, companies, crypto exchanges, prop firms, etc. I was trying to run like free community for a very, very long time. Tried to run into low ticket, high ticket, mixing everything. I was like running five businesses at the same time unsuccessfully. And then, I eventually started to figure out maybe I shouldn't be giving away 70% of my revenue to guys that aren't even doing 20% of the work.
yeah,
And I mean, yeah, here we are. I mean, things have changed quite a lot since then. Let's just say that.
of course, of course. So, I think I remember you saying on our sales call that you have a low ticket offer as well, right? So, I think it was $47 per month community or something like that.
Yeah, it changed a lot. I mean, originally, it was $500 per 3 months for the low ticket, and we had this little affiliate deal to make them back the $500 within a few days. But then, that partially fell through, and also nobody was doing it. I was like, why the fuck aren't people
Yeah,
doing this? It's literally guaranteed, like literally
yeah.
fully guaranteed. And so I just got so pissed off that I ended up just saying, whatever, I'm just gonna stop it. And then I brought it back at $47 a month a little while later. But it also still didn't work. Nobody gave a shit. So.
Yeah, exactly. So why do you feel like your low ticket wasn't working properly? Because a lot of people in this space think like if the price is cheap, people are gonna buy, right? People
Yeah.
just think that way, right? So why do you feel like your low ticket didn't work?
Well, the main struggle I had is like, what do I give to the people like across my socials in terms of value, right? Like some sort of lead magnet. What do I give to like my free community? And then the low ticket and the high ticket. The main issue is like figuring out, how much you can give as much as possible for free, but then also keeping the really good stuff in the high ticket. So I just didn't really
Yeah,
know how to split that up correctly. The low ticket was okay, but not great. Pretty much everything was just kept in a high ticket and free section. I was kind of like, well, you guys don't even really give a shit. Like most people didn't really
yeah.
care. The only people that were active were high ticket.
Of course, of course. So how many members you have inside your low ticket like at that time?
Oh yeah, maybe like a dozen or something. All inactive for the
Okay.
most part though.
I see. And you were also running your high ticket offer back then, right? Like you were
Yeah.
running it from the start. So what was it like? Like what were you offering in that high ticket offer, and what was the pricing like before then?
Um, well, I mean, it was okay. The main issue is that there was really not really any leads coming in. It was just like word of mouth. But yeah, we were pretty much just operating. At first it's really interesting. The guy that I was working with, I told him, hey, I want to do 5K for 3 months for the high ticket. He said, there's no way you can do that. So we ended up settling for 5K lifetime for everybody. Um,
And what
yeah,
did they do afterwards?
yeah. That's why I
Exactly.
found it really funny. I'm like, this guy really fucked me like royally in every single way possible.
Yeah, 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 exactly. And we didn't just do 5K for 3 months. We actually did 5K plus 50% profit share for 3 months. So yeah, like why do you feel like, that guy asked you to not do 5K for 3 months and we just did the same thing and we got results? Why do you feel like that happened?
He's just not good at what he does, bro. He's not good at what he does, clearly. And the main issue is just like, I guess he just didn't really care enough to understand the offer very well. Or like, I think that's the main issue.
Mhm.
So.
Okay, makes sense. And what do you feel like, what do you want to say to people who think like, oh, if something is cheaper, people are more into buying that thing? Because I talk to a lot of people every single day. I mean, trading coaches just like you, and they're like, oh, I don't think I want to, sell high ticket because I don't think people will buy from me and stuff like that. So what
Mhm.
do you want to say to those people? Like, why do you feel like people buy high ticket offers?
I think it's really tricky, at least like within the crypto space and a lot of these like forex trading groups, like whether it's like on Telegram or whether it's on Discord, like the norm really is like offering just like as much as possible, like 1,000 hours worth of course material, like 1,000 live streams every day of live trading, all these things. for like 20, 50, maybe $100 a month. And I've seen a lot of these communities operate that way and do decently well, but they all have the exact same issue, and it's a massively high churn rate. And a lot of people
Yeah.
just are not getting good results. And so I feel like maybe their philosophy is helping as many people as possible by having a low ticket and everything else and not pricing people out high ticket. But what's the actual goal there? If it's actually helping people get like solid change in their lives and not
Yeah.
small changes, they have to change
Exactly.
something. So, that's what I would say, honestly, is like whenever people pay more, they pay more attention. And that's just how it is, right? If you give something for free, nobody will give a shit.
Yeah.
And so it really is unfortunate, but that's just how it is. So don't argue with
Yeah.
it, work with it, and then help people get better results.
Exactly, exactly. People think that if the price is cheap, people are gonna buy that stuff more, but that is just not how it works. Because as humans, it's just we don't want the cheap stuff. I think there was this study done by I don't know who, but there was like they have these wine bottles, right? Something for like $50 and something for $1,000, and people just wanted $1,000 bottle, right? Simply because it was the exact same wine, but people
Yeah.
wanted that because they
Perceive value.
perceived. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So what was your reason into just shutting down the low ticket and switching to high ticket completely? Because I think that's what we did when we came in. I just told you to shut down the low ticket completely and just move to high ticket, right? So what do you feel like? What was your reason to do that specifically?
They said no members and low ticket, bro. Like, what was the point? And it was still
Yeah,
taking up like a lot of like my mental energy. Not necessarily much of my time or anything like that, but it's still a lot of mental energy of figuring out how can I make this low ticket better? How can I, give more value? How can I send people from, a viewer of my socials into the free section, low ticket, high ticket? I just wasn't really
yeah,
thinking, very clearly, and it was just too much of my time every day, kind of guilt tripping myself, like, oh man, why am I not giving more value to these guys? No. Why is there
yeah.
not more people in this? I don't get it. So it was just a lot of like energy and waste of time.
I feel you. I feel you. And what were the biggest challenges you faced when trying to achieve I think your goal was 10K per month, right? What you told me, the sales goal. So what were you like? What were your biggest challenges you faced when you were trying to achieve this 10K per month goal on your own?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is, I was technically on average, I was right around 10K a month, just because I was getting like one or two high ticket sales per month before back then, but it was really inconsistent. And it didn't really
Yeah,
feel like something that was easy for me to do. And it felt like eventually it would just stop happening because it was like word of mouth or random people messaging me. So I wanted to have
yeah,
like more of a clear system. My main plan before that was just trying to get as many views as possible on short form content, long form content, getting those people, under the free section, for them to go into low ticket, either pay me a small amount or they go under a bunch of affiliate links so that we can get affiliate revenue there, and then eventually
mm,
send them to high ticket. But it was so much fucking work. It was unbelievable, and I was getting no results.
yeah, bro. That is just super complex. Like when you make your entire sales funnel this complex, you end up getting no results because the first thing is you can't even track a lot of these things, bro. Like if you have
Yeah,
this complex of a funnel, you can't even track that. And did you have like tracking systems in place to track every single move that's happening inside your funnel? No.
zero, bro.
Okay.
Literally nothing. You know why? Because of what you just
Yeah.
said. Way too complex.
Yeah.
I ain't got time
Exactly.
for that. I ain't got time for that. I'm not gonna
Exactly.
hire someone to do it because it's not even working already. So like, why would I invest into something I'm not even sure works?
Yeah, for sure, bro, for sure. And I believe you've worked with, others before, right? Before investing with me. So how was your experience working with them exactly? Like, could you describe that?
Oh man, it was bad. There's so many false promises, like so many like really, really shitty agreements.
False promises like
And
what?
I mean, it's just like the basically. So just to give you like the quick like story, I met this guy at a mastermind event that I went to in Miami. He said my offer sounds great. He wants to help me scale up. He just has to pay me 20% of all my revenue and 10K up front for him to, build out a couple of things, basically a
Yeah.
very shitty lander with like a black background on GHL, like a little bit of text and then a link to
Mm.
click and it goes to an external Stripe link. Fucking terrible, bro. And so there was him, and then he said, "Oh yeah, do you have a sales team?" I'm like, "Obviously not, bro." He's like, "Oh yeah, well here's the other guy. You have to pay him 3K up front from to set up the system, get you some guys, and then also 15% rev, to him, and then another 15%, of course, to the closers and setters. And
Yeah.
apart from that, also, do you have like anything going on for like marketing?" I'm like, "Not really." He's like, "Oh yeah, well that's someone else, and he's 20% rev share." And he's 10K up front. And do you have any money for ads? I'm
Dude,
like, no. And so I'm like, oh, wait a
dude.
minute, how did I get myself in this situation? Like this guy said I'd be able to get to 100K a month with him easily, but then said, oh wait, oh but you don't have like any views. I'm like, well, no fucking shit, bro. Like,
Yeah,
so yeah.
exactly. So basically, that guy just kept robbing you again and again and didn't really bring you that
Yeah.
many results, right?
Zero fucking results, bro. Like all the results I got was literally just based off of me personally messaging people and then hopping on just like a sales call, just me and myself. Cause like, anyways, there was so many issues with that. I didn't get any good results, and I probably lost like 40 grand because of all that bullshit, which was super
Jesus
annoying.
Christ, bro.
But mostly opportunity cost, bro. That's like 1 year of working with them and just wasting
Mm.
time and giving them my revenue anytime I get it, which left me with nothing, literally fucking nothing.
Yeah, yeah. So you worked with them for 1 year?
Yeah.
Dude, that is nuts, bro. That is nuts. Like you've been through some serious shit. So what made you decide to invest with me? Like because you've been through so much in the past. Because a lot of people are like, dude, this thing didn't work, right? I tried it like twice, thrice, right? It didn't work, so I'm not gonna just do it again, right? People are just scared to invest. So what made you invest with me after you have had such bad experiences in the past?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like pretty much like since day one of working with those guys, I was always open, like throughout really everywhere, whether it's Instagram cold DMs, whether it's emails, like cold emails, no matter what, anything I would get that sounded interesting, I would always hop on a call with them and then see if they could help me and get me some decent results so that I could say fuck off to those guys. And it wasn't really until that we hopped on our call and that we went through kind of everything that I realized that you actually had pretty much exactly what I was looking for and even more because you're able to basically replace all of those guys all in one. Like the ads aspect, the content aspect, the tracking aspect, the back end, front end, optimization, literally everything. And so I realized, well, if I'm able to work with you and then not have to give up 80% of my revenue, why not do it, right? Why not?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, makes sense. So basically, you invested because we were offering the whole 9 yards, right? You could replace all these people you were working with, right? Okay, makes sense. So you mentioned like I had exactly what you were looking for. So what were you looking for exactly?
Done for you. Like, yeah, I was just
Okay.
so burnt out over the last like couple of years of trying to build all this myself, and if not by myself, then with other people. Basically, bro, like with them, it was like the equivalent of a school project, like a presentation where I did all the work,
Yeah.
but they got all the
Ah,
rewards. That's what it was.
okay.
It's one of those.
Yeah, I feel
And
you,
so
bro.
I wanted to be in a situation where we could be making the presentation, where you're
Yeah,
doing most of the work and you just ask me for feedback. Hey, is this okay? That's what I wanted, and
yeah,
exactly what you gave me. So.
yeah. Exactly. So it was more like a done with you of those guys, if I'm not wrong.
I mean, it was supposed to be done for you, but realistically, not really.
Okay. Right, right. So you spend like 40, 50 grand with them, and it was again like more of a done with you of it, whereas it was supposed to be a done for you thing. And you spent like 1 year with them and you still didn't see any
Getting
results.
zero
Well,
results with them. Zero results with them. I just got results on my own. I didn't even need them.
yeah.
And I still have to give them my
Exactly.
revenue. So
Mm, yeah, that is crazy, bro. So can you explain a bit more like the things we did for you? No, because there are a lot of things we do, right? So it's just like a lot of stuff. So could you like talk about the things we did for you and how was your experience overall?
there's a lot of things to be honest. It's kind of hard to think of everything. There's a lot that I don't even realize
Yeah.
you guys do. I'm certain of that. But I mean, what comes off the top of my head? I mean, right away, you started to look over my entire offer and see what was working, what wasn't, what we could optimize, how we could change the messaging, which is like super
Yeah.
important to mention because if you don't actually have that foundation set up correctly, then it's not really worth doing anything else, anyways. So we actually solidified the
Exactly.
offer. We made like some docs, making sure that everything's clear, that you understand it very well, and then at that point, it was time to start thinking of content. So you just came up with content ideas after looking at competitors. You've made me approve of them. You made all the scripts. We started to make the content. It was a super easy process. You had editors handle everything. The content was great quality. And then at that point, it's like, all right, cool. Let's go ahead and get a setter set up. You did everything. You found one. You trained him, and he's fucking killing it. He's doing so great.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, pretty much like every single aspect you've handled. And then after that, once it was time for a closer, we brought in a closer. Paid ads, as soon as we did a couple of weeks of content, we started to handle all of that as well. There's not really anything that I've had to do apart from just like message, whenever you need something.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Amazing, man. So would you say you are kind of satisfied with what you paid for?
More than satisfied. I forgot to mention the lander, bro. The lander is so fucking nice. It's basic, but it's just nice. It works.
Y-
So like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. The goal was to, just make things basic, but make things effective, if that makes sense,
yeah,
because a lot of people have these flashy landers and stuff like that. But bro, that is just filled with useless information. People don't even scroll through till the bottom, right? And then they wonder like, oh shit, why am I not getting course
yeah.
booked of this page, right? So probably that was that. And I think we all got a few course booked from the lander, and we haven't even started, sending traffic to that landing page, right? So that was good as well, I guess. So could you talk
Yeah,
about like how
let me
much?
say this as well. What's funny, you keep saying this, bro. Like literally every single time, you're like, "Oh, we haven't even really started yet," and I'm like, what does that mean, bro? Like, how big can we go?" You're like, "Oh no, we're just getting
Yeah,
started." I'm like, "All right, buddy, let's see."
yeah, exactly, bro. Like, so I think okay, so this is my next question, right? So how much were you making before joining, and how much are you making now, like after the 90 days period? So could you talk about that?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, I mean, before, like I said, like if I just go ahead and take like what I've got in terms of revenue and cash collected over like the past year before working with you, it was like an average of maybe like 7 to 10K a month, but it was like I said, not very consistent. And like I said,
Yeah.
I was not keeping much of that.
Mhm.
So I had a lot of expense of the
Okay, so
business, the rev share.
7 to 10K was not profit. It was after
Oh
it
no,
was just
bro.
revenue.
Maybe if I was lucky, I would be keeping like 1 or 2K a month after doing all the work and
Dude,
everything. Yeah, and there was a lot of
dude.
other expenses to consider. There's also
Yeah.
this ads guy that I worked with like before I spoke to you, and I mean it was like 2,500 monthly retainer plus we spent 3 grand on ads, got zero ROAS, and I had to do so
Dude.
much work, bro. I was on calls every day for like 8 hours for like weeks, got zero results, and he blamed me after. So yeah, that
He
was
blamed
ridiculous.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, how did these people are in business, bro? Like that is just crazy. That is
I
crazy.
don't get
So
it,
you
bro,
were,
because apparently
yeah,
they give great results to other people, but I've never seen it. And that's the crazy thing. I asked them, show me results. Like, oh no, we signed NDAs with people. I'm like,
yeah,
uh,
exactly, exactly. So they just, kind of hype their stuff with other people, and then, when it comes to selling you, they just talk about, oh, so these are the results we brought, but we can't show them to you because we've got these
yeah.
NDAs and stuff. Okay, right.
And the
So
other
that is
unfortunate
definitely
thing is
shit.
these guys, like from what I've seen, like in the names they've mentioned, they've only really worked with scammers,
Oh, really?
which is kind of weird. Yeah. So like all the
Yeah.
big names that they mentioned that they worked with, in the trading space and outside the trading space, they're all like well-known scammers. The reason why they work with
Oh,
them is because they have huge, they have like a huge amount of followers, which is easy to work with.
yeah,
They build shitty
yeah.
systems, and then boom, they make a shit ton of money off rev share.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, bro. Like, if someone has got like 1 million followers, bro, you could literally have the shittiest funnel and still
Yeah,
make a good amount of money because, the reason why that person got 1 million followers in the first place is because of their face, right? It's because they built that personal brand, right? And if you've got like a personal brand, bro, like everything is easy to sell. So it isn't
yeah.
really like, you need to do a lot of work to, get results, like in this case. So it isn't really that. So yeah, that is like a load of followers, bro, it's like super easy. But yeah, like so you were making around 1 to 2K in profit per month, right? So how much did you make after the 90 days of working with me? Like in revenue and in cash
Well,
collected?
yeah. I mean, in revenue, over 100K.
Jesus Christ. Over 100K.
Yeah, yeah,
That
which is
is sick,
crazy
bro.
because we were shooting for like, you know, 10K, maybe a little bit more, something light,
Yeah,
just getting
yeah,
started. But no, I
yeah.
mean, the calls just kept coming in. We kept closing more, ton of payments in full. And next thing I knew, the month ended and boom, 100K.
And how much was your cash collected?
I think it was like around 60K.
60K in 90
Yeah,
days?
yeah.
That is crazy. That is fucking crazy, bro. And how much? And do you feel like you also save a lot of time and effort, like compared to the other stuff you worked with in the past with those guys? So, how do you feel like it was different from what you did before and what you did with me now?
hmm I would say it's very different because, like when you message me for things, if I have to do anything, it's very, very minor, right? And if I don't want
Yeah.
to do something, usually you can eat for me. It's
Yeah.
just really nice. But when my bad.
That was
But
a contracted
but what I will say is with these other guys, like they would message me and then I would have to spend hours figuring things out. Like something fucking stupid,
Yeah.
like something wasn't working with meta ads or with like my YouTube, and then they'd say like, oh, I don't know why it's not working, you figure it out. And then I'd have to spend hours like on the phone and trying to figure things out and not even getting results with them. So yeah, I think that's the
Damn.
main difference. Is like whenever you needed something from me, it'd be really simple. It wouldn't take long for me to respond. Then you would handle the actual work. It's more just checking, hey, is this okay? Or hey, do you want to do this? Then you do the work, then you say, okay, this is what we did. Is this okay? It's really simple, right? It's just simple
Yeah.
messages. It's nothing like, all right, Seb, you ready? Let's do an 8 hour call today and handle all this bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, bro. Like, with our stuff, the goal is to make sure, like, I think this is what I've been saying since day one. Like, my goal is to make sure you take almost everything off your plate, like, literally every single thing. Because, if you are also, indulged in, shit tons of tasks, like, what's the point of paying me at the end of the day? What's
Yeah.
the point of paying for a done for you service? That's how I like to think about it. So do you feel like, you save a lot of time and effort after investing with me?
A tremendous amount, really. Like, and honestly, like for the
Okay.
results that we've gotten, like any amount of time and effort that I've had to put in or anything else, like it's honestly been 100% worth it. And like you said, it's just the start. So,
Yeah,
of
yes,
course,
sir. It's
like
just the start.
I'm excited to see what's going to happen after, right? In terms of the numbers we can hit and I'm
Yeah.
curious to see how little time I'll be putting in and how great of results
Yeah.
I'll be getting in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think the main time you put in was for like the starting sales calls, I believe. So I don't think other than that,
Yeah.
like the content is just regular stuff, right? There isn't really that long of a thing, right? So I don't think other than that you put in more time, right, on any of the
It was
things.
just for the recording the content, which
Yeah.
didn't really take long. Like honestly, I think like the first batch took maybe a little bit long because I had to figure things
Yeah, yeah,
out. I had all like these preconceptions in my mind of how we had to do the content, but honestly, it was
yeah,
very simple. We just filmed
yeah,
everything, and then you handle the rest. And then with the rest in terms of sales calls, I mean that's totally fine, honestly, because we needed to do those anyways to be able to train the sales guys. And
yeah,
I learned quite a few things by doing that, to be honest. So that's actually a
yeah,
very good thing.
yeah, exactly. And you also apply these sales skills in real life, right? And how are they working for you, bro?
Well, let's just say it's working, bro. It's working.
I'll pay you. I'll pay you. Awesome. And do you remember, like, on a sales call, you were like, you were kind of worried about the time you would need to put into this. Like, I remember you just constantly kept asking me, like, okay, so how much is this gonna take? Like, how much time is this
Yeah.
gonna require of me, right? So, like, thinking about that, and just talking about all this stuff right now. Do you feel like, you it kind of like surpassed your expectations? Like, do you feel like you spend that much time you were thinking you would need to spend at the time of a sales call, or do you feel like you spend way less time than you think you would have done on the sales call?
Yeah, a lot less time. Honestly, I think like the next 3 months I'm gonna be spending even less time, which is like really
Yeah.
exciting to think about. But yeah, honestly, like before, it really was like this thing where if like I didn't answer a message for like 1 or 2 days, things just wouldn't work. With you, if I don't answer a
Mm.
message for 1 or 2 days, things are just slightly slower, but things are still happening. That's pretty much all
Yeah.
there is to it. Right. And
Mm.
so, yeah, honestly, it really feels like everything has surpassed my expectations. And a lot of the things that I thought I'd have to spend a lot of time on and like mostly like for me the main thing in terms of time is like mental energy of sitting for hours and thinking of how to do something and then have to do it.
Yeah.
The thinking of having to do it, not really there. I
Yeah.
just have to spend the time and do it, which is super easy.
Yeah, exactly. So it was more like, the planning phase, bro. It's just
Yeah.
like the most time consuming part. I'd say like the most energy consuming part as well. Because it's like you have to think a lot, like how you need to do this stuff because this happened, XYZ happened, and stuff like that. So yeah, so from what I understand, you were kind of running like a one-man show before investing with me. And after that you saved time and you really felt like a business owner, from what I understand.
And
Is
actually,
that
in
sound
the
about
end, I
right?
saved a lot of money. I saved a lot of money because I didn't have to do all the rev
Yeah.
share bullshit. There's 69 different people. I didn't have to spend
Yeah.
like monthly retainers to a whole bunch of different guys. And also like a lot of the softwares that I had, I don't know if you remember, like I was able,
Yeah.
bro, I mean, I was
I
paying
wonder if you remember, bro. Hello,
$530 a
bro.
month, 530 a month on some custom code GHL, which is total
Yeah.
bullshit. Yeah, it's so many
Yeah.
other things. So in the end, like even working with you and after everything else, I still managed to basically save money and make a lot more money and a lot of time. I mean, it's like I said, it's a no-brainer.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. So, so considering like the stuff we did for you, right? You think people can do all that stuff we did for you on their own? Because a lot of people think that, right? Because a lot of people, when they hear the investment side of things, oh, I'll have to spend this much and stuff like that. They're just like, what? Let me just do this by myself and figure out.
Mhm.
So, do you feel like people can realistically do the kind of work we did for you in 3 months?
Well, what I will say is like, and I get this question as well, like on my calls with people that are interested in trading stuff, like I'll do it on my own,
Yeah,
I'll figure it out. I think the real question is like, will you? Like,
yeah,
actually, will you? Because like, for
yeah,
example, like if somebody, let's say I was a personal trainer and somebody comes to me and says like, like I want to get really fit, I want to lose like fat, I want to get strong, blah, for the summer or something. And then I tell them, okay, cool, like pay me like 5 grand or 10 grand for me to help you get these results. Oh, well, I'll do it on my own. I talked to them in three
yeah,
months, they haven't done shit, right? Why? Because like I said, you have to think about everything, you have to plan it out, you need to know it's actually going to work, and then you have to do all the fucking work, which is a lot, right? As opposed to
yeah,
having somebody like a personal trainer always following your ass around saying, no McDonald's for you, eat this chicken and rice,
yeah,
you'll actually get results. So you got to figure out like, what do you value more? That's really what it is. Like, do you want to like know that you'll actually be able to get there, or do you want to try to figure it out yourself and then hopefully you'll get there? That's the main thing, honestly, because like with trading and with everything that you're doing and everything else, like the money that you're going to invest with somebody to help you versus the money you'd be using for something else, honestly, usually it's better spent invested in something that's done for you. Or
yeah,
else like you could just waste the money, right, on bad trades or on, shitty fucking people which don't actually give you results or on bad softwares or scams. So what I would say
yeah.
is yes, you could do it on your own, but are you going to do it? Fucking, there's no fucking way, right? And so what matters more
Yeah,
to you, actually getting the results or trying to maybe figure it out and potentially get the results?
yeah, exactly. Because I also think of it this way: like, if you were to figure this out on your own, bro, like we wouldn't be on this call in the first place. Like, you would have already figured this out, right? We wouldn't be,
Yeah.
trying to have a conversation around, oh, how can I help you and stuff like that. Because if you knew it, like, we just wouldn't be doing this call, right? So yeah, I think a lot of people just, trade their time for money, right? Whereas it should be the other way around, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, like,
And that's opportunity cost, right? Like
yeah,
if I'm able to
exactly.
free up like even a couple of hours per day, which I'd be using on some bullshit, you're able to take those hours away and I'm able to use that for something else. Like, I mean, I've
Yeah.
noticed this also. This is a big thing over the last couple of months. I've had a lot more time to just like be able to relax and to think. And I've had amazing ideas actually come up to drastically improve my offer. Be able to take those hours
Nice.
to actually work within my offer to give way better results to people. And then I can just throw that to you and say, hey, work with this. And
Yeah.
then we get even better results. So
Yeah.
it's a much better situation, and I'm able to make a lot more money with my own trading because I have more time, a lot more money by helping my traders, by helping my community members, and by reinvesting. So it's literally a no-brainer. It makes literally no sense not to do something like that. You're just gonna make more money,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you have a lot more time, you can just focus that time on the things that actually matter, right? And I believe, like, to whoever like is running an infoproduct business, bro, I think the main important thing is to actually bring your clients results, right? And if people don't focus on that, like, no matter how good their marketing is, they're just going to fall off one day or the other, right?
Yeah.
So I think, like, the stuff we did for you, it worked really well because you had good results. Like, it wasn't like you were just starting out and you didn't have any results for yourself or your clients. So I think a really big factor that helped you hit the kind of numbers you hit is because of the results you got, right? So yeah, like, if people, so it is just like, if you don't have time to focus on results, you're not going to make more money. It's just like an entire cycle that just
Yeah.
it's just like a loop, right? So I feel like like, by letting us handle the marketing and sales side of things for you, I feel like you've got more time to actually spend time with your clients and actually help them bring more results, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And because of that, I'm certain that I can 10x the results for them and 10x the
Yeah,
numbers for the
of
business.
course.
And so
Yeah.
it makes
After
so
all,
much
we're just
fucking
getting
sense.
started.
We're just getting started. In one year,
Yeah.
in 50 years, you'll be like, we're just getting started. I know it, bro. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Of course, bro. Of course. And bro, like, the reason why I keep saying this is we haven't even started running ads that much. We have, I don't know, I think we've spent less than $300 on ads, bro. So yeah, this is why, with ads, like people usually scale a lot more when they start running ads, right? So this is why I'm like, we're just getting started, bro. We're just getting started because if we just start spending more on ads, I'm sure like we're gonna hit like 150K, 200K, 300K months easily. Because if we
Yeah.
can hit these numbers without ads, bro, like with ads we can scale to the moon. So that's definitely why I say we're just getting started, bro. So
Yeah.
yeah. So okay, so let me ask you this. And I'm gonna be your therapist once again. So how did you feel like when you got to 100K? Like when you hit that milestone, bro, and you got like, oh, I made 60K in fucking cash collected for the first time after losing 40 grand the last year. So how did that make you feel? Like what did you exactly feel in that moment?
I'm not gonna lie, like the feeling was incredible. And I think it was mostly like a feeling of a massive weight off of my shoulders, knowing like
Yeah,
all that fucking money and time that I threw away with those guys. Like it was really weighing on me every single day for a long time. I knew that that was finally recovered, like through the business. And I
yeah,
know that there's actually like a good direction that we're going through. So the feeling really was incredible. I really felt, I mean, obviously like really happy about it, but also just like really like relaxed and peaceful and like, okay, I can actually move on from this and then look forward, which is
yeah.
huge.
Yeah, of course, bro. That's really like a very, I think that's the kind of feeling every info business owner wants to have one day or the other, right? So the feeling of, making money without like doing a lot of things that people tell you to do, right? So I think that's what actually makes you feel like a true business owner, right? Because if you're just,
Yeah,
running a business where you are doing all the work and still making, like 5, 7K, that's not really a business. That's just a high paying job, in my opinion, right?
yeah,
So yeah, that's really good to hear, bro. So what are your goals like moving forward, like in the next 1 year? So where do you kind of see yourself
1 million a month.
in a month for sure?
And that's, I mean, that's just working with you in terms of results. With my clients and the management stuff and automations, easily 100 million managed and 5 million profit a month just coming in from automations. And
That's
we're
gonna be
we're this
insane.
close to doing it. We're already at 6 million managed. We're gonna get to 10 million managed by the end of May easily or more. And
Nice.
by the numbers that we're looking at, I'm pretty sure we can do, at least like, for some of these clients, like pretty high 5 figures, maybe some of them are going to start to do 6 figures passive. So that's what we're looking at, and I want us to get there. I mean, if we can get there sooner, great. But in the next year, 100%. There's just no way it's not going to happen with the team that we have and with the kind of like mentality we have and the kind of
Yeah.
results we're already getting. Easy fucking peasy, bro. We're onboarding some new traders also into our systems. It's going to be ridiculous, and all that's possible because I have the time to actually do this shit, right? To focus in on the process.
Yeah, exactly. So because of, all the things taking care of you, like you can actually now focus on, getting to this $100 million managed goal. So yeah, that's really good to hear, bro. And I'm sure like, with all the stuff we are doing and the stuff you are doing, bro, like you can easily get to 1 million a month by next year. Like it's just about, running ads the right way, just, onboarding more people to help you out with closing and all that kind of stuff. Because I think right now we just got one close and one setup, bro. And I believe like that should be enough to at least get you to 200, 300 grand a month. Like from there, we're going to onboard more closes. So it's like we have a long way to go, bro. Like for sure. It
Yeah.
is just the start. It is just the start,
I'm
bro.
excited, bro. It's great.
Uh,
Now, just knowing we have a plan, bro, and like we're gonna be able to get great results, that's all I really need, bro. Because like just having that clarity and knowing that I don't have to do
yeah.
everything myself is great. It's phenomenal.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Okay. Now, a quick question. So, how do you feel like my approach was kind of different from others in the space, right? Because there are a lot of people in the space, bro. Like every fucking person on the planet wants to target coaches, consultants, and people like that, right?
Yeah.
So, how do you feel like my approach was different from them?
The one big thing that stood out, whenever you reached out to me, cold DM on Instagram, on our first call, on our second call, and then once we started working together, really is like the human aspect. It doesn't feel like you're like trying to be like a 60-year-old businessman all serious, but you're not like this 18, you're like not like this 18-year-old unserious, like, oh yeah, whatever, I'll do it tomorrow. Like you have a really,
Yeah.
really good balance of actually like really being solid in terms of doing the work, being highly professional, but also being very human, which is exactly what I was looking for. And I haven't seen that in many other people. I've had some people I've talked to that it was like, okay, decent. But I always had this like weird feeling with you. I never had like a weird feeling at all, which is huge.
Mm. Oh,
Very
damn,
hard to
bro.
find that.
Yeah, I'm starting to blush, bro. Come on. But yeah, man, amazing. Good to hear that. And yeah, this is something I've also felt with you, honestly, because I've had a lot of clients in the past, and they're usually like, they're older, right? So I think you're 22, right now.
Yeah.
So they're usually older, but still, I never really felt that kind of, that kind of bro vibe with them, right? But with you, it's like, bro, like
Yeah.
OnlyFans, fuck that, fuck you, yeah, bro. I can't even talk about a lot of stuff we talk about on this call because yeah, it's
If
been
you know,
like
you
it's
know.
been yeah, yeah. But I can really say that it has been fun working with you. Like
Yeah.
it has actually been fun, not like just in terms of bringing results and stuff, but actually fun as a pair, right? So yeah, man. Like I think we've really got that vibe going on, and we also have to do that Bali trip soon, bro. So yeah,
Yeah,
can't wait to
bro.
see like what we do there. Yeah, like coming back to the question. So, what did you love the most about working with me?
Yeah, I'd say the main thing really is just like, like you said, like the process and everything, like the day to day was actually enjoyable. It was fun. And it was great to actually know that like we're getting really good results every day. I'm on top of things, you're on top of things, closers on top of things, setters on top of things. Everything is always being done. And I don't have to like, like deal with this kind of like, I don't have to put on a fake personality. Like I don't have to
Yeah,
fake anything. And if there's anything that needs to be said, it's said and it's taken care of,
yeah,
which is huge.
yeah. Amazing, amazing. And where do you feel like, how we performed on the operational side of things, right? Like managing people, managing your content and, the dashboard we created for you and all this kind of things. Because I think a lot of people do kind of lack that aspect, right? A lot
Yeah.
of people don't manage things that well. So what do you feel like, your experience has been in terms of that with us?
Yeah, I mean, I would say everything is like so organized that it's hard to even understand it at first. Like, there's just so much going on. It's really great. But that's what's great is I can just message you and say, "What the fuck? Where is this? I don't know where to find it," and you just tell me where to go.
Yeah,
So yeah, everything is extremely well organized. And like, whenever I started to prepare for the sales calls and doing them, I was extremely impressed at like the entire like sales training that you had. And I know you only showed me like whatever, like 10% of
yeah,
it, but it was
yeah.
so great. Like just seeing like all of these like different resources you gave me, videos, like note, like everything is like so well made, and the sales is so perfectly made for what I do that I had like no trouble at all on the sales calls, and also adapting based off the notes you gave me. And I learned quite a lot by doing that. And I know that it's just a small fraction of everything, which makes me think like that's how like that's the main thing. Like if you want to know you're working with somebody that actually knows what they're doing, that's the kind of shit you got to look at, right? Because you actually have
Yeah.
the processes, and these things are solid. That's how you know you actually know what you're doing.
Of course, man, of course. And I think that's why you had like a fucking 80-90% clothing rate on course, bro. Like, that was crazy. I've never seen that, honestly. So,
What can I
like, I was
say,
quite
bro? It's
impressed by
it's the
you, bro.
beer, bro.
Yeah, it's the rims. So, yeah, man, I was quite impressed by that as well. Amazing. Good to hear that, bro. So, okay. So, I just want to finish off by asking you this. Like, would you recommend us to others?
Obviously. I mean, it's just no question. There's no like, oh yes, but only to some people or no, it's
Yeah.
just yes to everybody. There's just no question in mind. I have no doubt that whatever offer someone has, whatever situation they're in, this is the right guy. 100%. Period.
Amazing, man. Good to hear that. Why do you think that way, though?
Like I said, it's actually done for you. And honestly, like whenever I want something to be done, it gets done. If I have any questions also about anything, you're able to assist me with all of these different things, right? And so there's so many things that you've helped me out with that you honestly, I don't even think you needed to, but you did, right? Which is
Yeah.
absolutely like so helpful to know that I have somebody that's actually there to help me and not just take advantage and be like, yeah, well,
Yeah.
like 30% rev share if you want that
Yeah.
question answered. So yeah, no,
Okay.
I really appreciate that, to be honest. And honestly, like I think no matter what niche, based off of what you've done for me, and specifically with my offer, there's not many trading offers that are like mine, and you've managed to customize
Yeah.
everything based off of it. So there's no doubt you can do the same thing for literally any other niche and get incredible results.
Amazing, man. Good to hear that. Though, for someone just, just on the fence, right? If they're like, oh, should I invest with this guy or should I not invest with this guy? Also looking at other options and stuff like that. So what would you say to that person, like who's just on the fence to join?
I mean, I would say like maybe think about it for a second. Like, what are you gonna do by yourself? Right? And worst
Yeah.
case, if you're on a call with Div right now, I mean, Div can always ring me and we can talk on the call. I don't give a shit. Like that's the thing
Yeah.
is it's like it really is like, with some of these things, it's like people say, well, I'll believe it when I see it. But it's like, but that's not how it fucking works, bro. Like that's not even how seeing
Yeah.
works. Like study how a brain works, first of all.
Yeah.
But Well, what I'm trying to say is like honestly, like you got to figure out, like we said earlier, with the main question of like, can you do it on your own? Like, sure, maybe you could, but are you going to be able to get the results that you want within that amount of
Yeah,
time? Right?
yeah,
Maybe within 3 months you'll be able to learn some of these things. Will you be able to actually
yeah,
apply them? Probably not. If you have a full-time job, you try to manage your business and other things, there's just no fucking way you're going to do it. So let's
yeah.
say that you were able to do it yourself and you could scale up to 100K a month over 3 years. With Div, you could do it in maybe 3 months or 6 months. I don't know how long it'll take for you, but took 3 months
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Like a lot of people think they can do that stuff, but it's just like they don't understand that, bro. Like we in the first place have spent like 4 fucking years, 12 days learning this stuff, testing all this stuff, learning from the best people in this industry, implementing and all that kind of stuff. And some people think that, they can just do it on their own, like in one fucking month, like 2 months, bro. That's just not how it works. You can't skip the
Yeah.
hard work, right?
And that's the
So
curse of
yeah,
social media, bro. It's the curse.
yeah,
Everything looks so easy
yeah.
on social media.
Exactly. It isn't. It isn't, bro. Like this is why, the content I'm gonna start posting now. I'm just gonna be straight up. Like, dude, this is not easy. Like if you came in thinking to like, okay, so in this video I'm gonna learn some hack to, achieve 10K, 20K a month, bro. Just
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here, bro. It's not easy. It's not fucking easy, bro. You've got to put in the work. There is just no shortcut to that. So yeah, for sure, bro. But yeah, man. So that's pretty much it. Like that's pretty much what I wanted to, ask you about and all that kind of stuff. But is there anything else like you would like to share with the viewers about your experience working with me or anything else?
Uh, no, I mean honestly, like all I'll say to wrap this up is like Div's a very transparent guy, super chill. Still can't say his full name, but it's all right. It is what it
Nobody
is.
can't say my full name, bro.
Divyan Mangla. All I can say is he's great, very transparent, and gets great results. So that's all there is to
Yeah,
it.
amazing, man. Good to hear that. Thank you so much, man, for hopping on a call with me and talking about all this stuff. And I really hope like we can hit 1 million months by the next year. And yeah, man, like we've got a fucking long way to go, and I can't wait to see the kind of results we'll be bringing, especially when we targeting these business owners like we talked about. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that's gonna be ridiculous, bro. Like fucking ridiculous. So super excited for that, man. And yeah, have a good day, bro. Thank you so much for hopping on a call, and let's talk soon. All right.
of course, man. Talk soon.
All right. Have a good one.